if they do not sell out after a month or two, okay, I am not panicking, right? As the market is going, it's driving up, it's building the community, right? From experience, there is a certain level of community and a certain level of capital, and there is a certain level of cash flow that a crypto project needs to be successful, right? There is a certain level that the business behind it needs to be successful. It needs to be able to pay to get listed up onto those big exchanges. It needs to be able to have that big paid marketing, both on the actual project in itself and on the business of which is generally behind it. Okay, it needs to do that. Now, do I think that it's going to have major problems where it's never going to be able to sell out? No. Okay, remember, the bigger that it gets, the more marketing that there is for it. And remember that as well, the pricing now, I mean, now I think we're at 0.0014. The ending one is 0.7, you know, so even from where it is now, that's a 500x that it's going on to the exchanges for. Believe me when I say as well, because of the exchanges that it's going on straight away, and the path that it has with that positive cash flow that it will have, I do not see them. I see them having a very good rally on exchanges as opposed to the opposite. Okay, the whole structure has been put into place based on experience. The whole structure has been put into place based on knowing what they need as well. They need to have that liquidity. They need to have that volume. Okay, going across, going on to KuCoin. KuCoin's a decent exchange. Going on to ERekaX within a matter of a few weeks. That's massive, right? Already going on to hit BTC. Okay, decent. Going on to Bittrex, decent exchange. Okay, that is what it needs to be successful. Okay, there is no starting below that. Okay, I can tell you from my own experience with ERK, guys. Okay, it can be a struggle in that aspect. Fast forward and fast tracking it into those other businesses, yes, right. That will propel them massively. Yeah, remember, obviously for Polaris as well, our core structure, our core one of our core strengths is our development as well. Projects are able to come to us, even if somebody just has an idea, they are able to come to us. And we can make that a reality. We can do the development. We have the IO platform, obviously, where they will be able to have an IO to raise capital. We're able to offer them the internal trading, or the trading internally within the company. So we are able to offer them the trading within their internally in their company, for their company, where they will be able to have positive cash flow for marketing and everything else that's needed. The exchange listings, all of that, it all builds into a pot as well for boom, bang, 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 bang. That's how it needs to be. All of the crypto news, everything being covered with it, right? That's what it needs. We are not going through all of these projects to try and get projects that are going to be able to slowly grow, or to, you know, the market has demands as participants, as market, and this is, I would say, is obviously a big thing for appreciation. The market has demands, the holders have demands, the holders want it on big platforms, the exchange, they want it on the big exchanges, they want to see it rocking and rolling on that thing. The way it does that, guys, is by having the successful IEO. Okay, so am I worried if it's not sold out after a few months? Absolutely not. There's a number of things that we have done that will, I would say, probably prevent it from going on for too long. But absolutely not. If it aren't sold out after a few months, no, it is of no concern at all. I can say that actually on the Chinese side as well, the Chinese strategy, I know, obviously we've discussed it before, they do use the Impulse X passive system as an easy gateway for building the community and bringing people through. On that, they are actually going to be focusing on the IEOs, and they are also going to be focusing on using the passive system for in and the IEOs for out, as I'm sure that many of you have seen Mark's post. Mark set the post for people to use to be able to obviously deposit in whatever, but to be able to withdraw through. And the reason that they did that is because obviously on an average basis of 2.5%, those tokens can easily 5x, 10x when they come through on the other side of the IEO. From where they are now, so I rephrase that, they can easily 5x from the ending price of the IEO. If you look at the IEO, you will notice that the ending price of them all is still, the very last stage is still incredibly cheap. You're not going to find a DeFi project that's got all of this for that. You're not going to find a platform that's got social media platform, positive cash flow plus loads of capital for that. Okay, it is not going to happen, especially when there's buyback and burn model in there at all. It is not going to happen. It's done on purpose, so it is still appealing, so that when it goes on the markets, it is already appealing in that nature. Okay, but it still allows to raise enough capital, right? It's not trying to raise 8, 9, 10, 15, 50, 500 million, right? It's trying to raise a sensible amount, which it needs to be able to propel forwards. Yeah, so that's basically it to answer that question. Is the community big enough to raise all capital for IEOs at this current time? Of course not. Of course not. But the whole point of it as well is with the marketing structure, like what I just said, it builds that community. So that as the IEOs are growing, the community is growing parallel alongside that as well. Remember, one of the main core things as well is it being in the center. So you have, for example, social token has social tokens advertising. Somebody comes through from that advertising, they think that's fantastic, they come, they buy social token. They are obviously enthusiasts that buy into startup, that buy into token sales, etc. Therefore, they will buy into the other side as well. So not necessarily, no, I'll rephrase that, not that they will. There is a good probability, and we have seen from past results, we say that people will buy into the other ones as well. So somebody comes in, they see social token, that's what they come for, they buy some of that. They see IPX, DeFi, they see Gamer, they see Gumtree, they see all of these different things, and they can come through and use that as well. What marketing techniques do you plan to employ to increase the community? Where do you plan to advertise? Twitter, YouTube, influencers. All right, to increase the community, yeah. So we have a number of partnerships already in place anyway with quite a lot of the crypto news companies, let's say. So that's basically companies that already have contacts with all of the major crypto news anyway, and they're able to roll out articles across them very quickly in bulk and generally for discount. So that will be a large part, covering all of the major ones as well: Bitcoin.com, Bitcoin Talk, Cointelegraph, etc. Social media, YouTube advertising, Twitter advertising, YouTube influencers. It is a service that quite a lot of our marketing partners, shall we say, that they do offer. It's something that we will try. They do have quite good results, but not any Tom, Dick, or Harry off of YouTube that's out there promoting and charging $2,000 to say something good. What you get with that is generally something completely fake. The ones from the marketers, yeah, they will generally try and have more of a positive thing, but a lot of it is AMAs. And in general, they will ask you the questions as well publicly in front of their whole audience. They will ask you the questions. If there's a negative, they will ask you about it, which personally I quite like about it, because that keeps it real. A lot of the YouTube influencers and things, yeah, if you're going to pay them, yeah, they're going to go and say that the project's fantastic. Are people really going to follow that person so much? No. Basically, knowing that that person is being paid to say, it takes away masses of the influence, really. I'm late. Yeah, I'm late. So sorry if this has already been discussed, but regarding copy trading, how are you going to avoid a mass of people moving the price too fast by copying a trader that buys a less liquid coin? They won't be able to. There will be requirements for a coin or token to be able to be involved in the copy trading. For example, ERK right at this stage, it would not be available. And I use that as probably the fairest one to say. It will need to have I don't know specifically what figure yet, but it will need to have a considerably high level of liquidity where basically it wouldn't touch the sites. So we're talking about probably the top 50 from Binance, maybe even stretch as far as perhaps the top 50 to the top 75. We will be listing a lot more of the things that are listed on Binance as well and taking liquidity from. Okay, say the IEO of IPX takes 3 to 4 months. Will the DeFi mechanics of the platform be? Yeah, absolutely. But if it goes fast, then yes, absolutely. The mechanics, mechanics. The technical aspects behind the scenes, all of the different aspects for DeFi, IPX will be up and running. The dApps, basically, if it raised that much that quickly, then I would be able to put considerably more developers on it. Therefore, it would be able to be finished. It could be finished in a week with enough resources. Let's put it that way. Is the target of $3 for ERK for this year still on, or like Feb target? Is it now not possible? I mean, yeah, obviously February's target isn't that it's not possible, it's just that things are taking a bit longer, a lot of the development work. Not to say that we had this full plan and everything, because we didn't. But parts of it we did have when we had started setting the goals, and we were very, very comfortable in getting things done in time. During that, though, obviously, there's been a few bumps in the road, and it's taken a little bit longer. We are a little bit behind, so to speak, on a roadmap, which is very strange for us to say, really, given the track history with that. But it's taking a little bit longer. Target of $3 for ERK for this year. You know what? If the IEOs go well, the IEOs commonly not go well, so to speak, but depending on the speed and progression of the IEOs, depending on the take up of the marketing efforts going through, people using the bots, the liquidity, the volume on the exchange, how the other companies and businesses do. I'm not fixated on a particular price, by such and so forth, when I'm fixated on building the community, and I'm fixated on building all of those different projects and aspects around, like what we're saying. Do I think that that's possible? Yeah. Like I said, if everything goes well, we could far precede that. If things don't go so well, maybe not. Yeah, but that's the nature of the game, so to speak. But yes, I think that with the business model and with the structure and everything that we have, with the marketing campaign and everything, all along those lines, I think that we have every chance in getting there and beyond. But I'm not going to commit to any price thing or anything like that, because it gets taken as promises. It gets taken as it can be misleading for users, because they fixate to that price, and I'm not saying it's going to be here there. I want for us as a team, we've had a good talk internally as well. For us, we want to develop. We want to develop the businesses around. We want to develop the community. We want to develop our own project, as in like the actual exchange and different things. We want to let the actions speak for themselves, so to speak. When will we start getting regular updates with all Eureka are doing? That is part of it is something that will be plugged in along with the design. Okay, so there will be features of emails and things like that. Also, something else that we are considering is an autoresponder system. Whether or not that's plugged into the exchange or whether it's something that will come run alongside it, we will have to have a look. But basically something that will be able to send out emails and bits and pieces for when people are promoting the IEOs, the trade bots, etc., etc. The trade bots basically is becoming a bit of a trend in the industry as well. So it's something that would be really, really, really effective to have. Unfortunately, most of the companies that do the copy trade bots, most of the figures are artificial. Most of them don't actually have their own exchange, for example, and which really allows for the figures to be made artificial. And unfortunately, what you see isn't quite what you get. The only reason why you gave 0.25 was a break even for the people involved in MPT. Not really. I've always openly discussed that at 16 cents because of my Eureka Club. That was the only number people remembered. Yeah, it is, but I've always obviously explained 16 cents. Hopefully we will see that number increase. Yeah, to be honest, it's a short-term thing. The thing is obviously the way of which that we're driving with ERK is for it being on the premises of the utility aspect as well. As soon as it starts to pick pace, I think it will fly past, quite literally. As soon as it starts to get that momentum coming from all of the different things around it, I don't even think that 25 cents, 50 cents along that path, I think it's going to be a quick move. Okay, as much as obviously I say that I want it to be sustainable, moving up, and that I want it to be stable, I do. Believe me, that is what I want. But I think that it's going to have its boom moments, and I think that it is going to have sharp moves up where it is actually sustainable. Okay, where it would get to what I call it, where it would start moving in the direction towards what I would call its true value. Okay, and really for it to reach its true value, it is missing two things. That is more usage on the blockchain and the community, which is exactly what the IEOs are there to cover from our side as a company perspective. But I can also tell you though, for the founders and everything of all of those projects, absolutely. Yeah, for the founders of all of the projects, they love it. Okay, the actual concept of being able to be able to have the IO on a platform where they are in the central body, where it is diverting lots and lots of traffic of community users specifically to there for them to advertise in front of. It's basically like them being listed in a marketplace. So yeah, it's very, very, very strong in its nature there. So 16 cents would be break even for MPT holders. Okay. Yeah, I mean, it all depends. Obviously, it's completely different for everybody in answer to that question. Lots of people already made considerably more than they took out. Lots of people grew their accounts considerably more as well. It all depends on obviously what you're classing as break even and what you're classing or not. But first and foremost, obviously the most important thing is that you bought product in that system as well, and that actually it is only through goodwill that people are able to actually have something in ERK of which will propel them to be able to, at least that is our target and our goal of what we strive so hard towards, to be able to actually earn even considerably more in the longer term as a gesture of goodwill. Okay, is ERK Android is decentralized? Yeah, absolutely. Why aren't the Chinese buying ERK and moving the price up? Like I said before, at the minute they are focusing on building the community, okay, and on building the community, I mean setting up nodes throughout the country. They're in the process of leaders joining. They don't want to make a move of which they're not going to be able to hold. Okay, when they do come in, when they do start, they want to start knowing that they're going to be able to reach towards reaching their goals. Having said that as well, though, yes, they are going to be putting quite a lot of focus into the IEOs because they understand as well. They teach people, obviously, for buying and for holding ERK, but primarily they do understand as well that the best way for us to actually grow ERK is by building around it. The marketing brings people in. The first thing really that they're going to see when they come through as well, not really the first thing, probably the second thing. First thing they're going to see is a project that they've been offered they're with. Then obviously they're going to see, it's like all of the projects are children, and ERK is essentially sat there as the parent, you know. They're going to see ERK, eyes in the exchange, buying IEOs, buying IEOs means more company share profits, obviously further along the line. Buying copy trading, more profits. Using copy trading, more volume. Exchange generally with more community users and more people using it, more profit. Leverage, more profit. You see all of these different aspects in it coming through. Yeah, really, to be able to help one project whilst successfully building another in that strategy, I think it would be very effective. How many projects have reached out to get their IEO done, which has come externally? How many projects have reached out to get their IEO? Quite a lot, but unfortunately, quite a lot. To put a name number on the exact amount, gamer token obviously is external. That's one that actually got through. Quite a few. Off the top of my head, I don't know. I would say probably 6 or 7 already. Unfortunately, lots of them are wanting to do like these smart contract gifting things, let's say, you know, which we do not wish to obviously have any involvement in. And I certainly wouldn't be holding an IEO on the exchange for one. Yeah, but each to their own, I guess. But from our perspective, definitely not. From them, quite a few. A couple of MLM ideas, which for like product-based MLMs, they would like to do so. They're cool. Couple of others that are a bit more corporate. It's a matter of weighing them up. Remember, we have 12, maybe would be able to stretch to 15 at the most, I think. Slots, we want to fill them with actual decent projects. You don't want to just approve anything, but if people have good ideas and they come forward, to be honest with you as well, I would actually quite prefer people inside the community than outside of the community. Main reason being, like, people think obviously external. Remember, at the minute, guys, our community is very small in comparison to what it's going to be. So basically, everybody inside the community now is more like a founder than anything else. Outside of the community is a constant. Everybody outside of the community now is near enough everybody. Yeah. And that's who's obviously going to be being drawn in through all of that paid marketing and all the different campaigns, etc., etc. That's who's going to be brought to EurekaX and into the ecosystem. So yeah, I think that's, but also, like I said, social token, for example, social media platforms, that will appear to your next door neighbor that don't even know what crypto is, has no idea what crypto is, and the way that it works in there as well is, I'd say, very, very clever, but he doesn't even need to know what crypto is. He never even needs to touch the crypto. He never needs to touch the token, but it will work incredibly powerful. And actually, he's using the token without even needing to use the token. The white paper obviously will be released when you see it, don't do so, but it's a really, really good way as well of taking crypto in a utility purpose to the market without expecting the market to know what the hell it is or how to use it. But yeah, your next door neighbor, be interested in that because he wants the Gumtree one. Your next door neighbor wants to sell his fish. You go along to the Gumtree one, you go and place his ad, you place his ad, you pay his few dollars to have his to boost his ad. He'll share that ad across the other social media platforms, including obviously the ones with social token. Yeah, brilliant. All of that growth and all of those advertisements pumping out to them all as well. Now we're at ground floor. The only way up from here is up. Well, the only way from here is up, shall I say. But it's been a hell of a lot of work put in to be in this position. Yeah, and I, for one, I'm sure as hell looking forward to the ride. Right, any last questions? If you have any last questions, then now is the time to, now be the time to ask them. Ask whatever you want. No question is a stupid question, and you should probably know me well enough by now to know that I'll quite happily answer anything that you've got to ask me. Will the exchange work smoothly? Yes. Absolutely. There's a hell of a lot of work that's needed to go into learning how to make an exchange run smoothly, learning what are the pressure points in the exchange, learning where the strengths are, where the weaknesses are. But yeah, to answer the question, yeah, it will. Currently, there are many times that the exchange brings up bugs or errors. In terms of actually its usage, no, there's not. It's actually very, very small. It just appears to be quite a lot. Yes, at the minute, yeah, I would say in general, the performance of it is actually okay. Over the last week or two, yes, we've been implementing lots and lots and lots into it. Yes, there's been lots and lots and lots of it to it. So yeah, it is. But no, in general, I don't think. In general, it will run very, very smoothly. Over the last week or two, sorry, I was reading one of the further questions as well. I'm thinking of something. One of the further things as well is that, yes, it is something of which that we need to ensure as the community grows. There's a lot of extra coding that has been put into place and a lot of extra parameters to actually be able to have that growth. Well, we are now starting our development of growth, not for where we expect to be by that stage, but for where we expect to be afterwards, so to speak. So we always make sure that we stay one step ahead, basically, with that. But yeah, over obviously the last couple of weeks, there's been a lot implemented into it. The IEO is obviously adding, but also there's a lot of work going on in the background. Possible to get a sneak peek of the new mock-up design. It is possible. It's possible. Right, if you bear with me a minute, guys, ask any last questions that you've got, because I will be sending this. Perhaps we will be able to have a quick look. If I, okay, bear with me for 2 minutes just while that is loading. And once it has, I will be able to, hopefully, if it does load, I'll be able to give you a sneak peek. Obviously, the sneak peek that I'm giving you is not actually of the website or of the direct mock-up of ourselves. It's just one that I know that we've taken to use as a mock-up. Basically, what we've done, basically what we've done is that we've taken the exchange design of which it was in HTML, and now programmers are now putting it into Angular. An exchange with a HTML. The difference basically being that EurekaX isn't a $50, $100, $500 built exchange. It's all, the front end is all in Angular, which is a much faster and better performer. So I'm just looking through here because I see some. How will the continuing buyback and burn proceed from here? Yeah, it will just proceed. It will just continue. For as long as it basically is going to continue to pick up the bottom of the market. That's the idea, obviously, with buyback and burn, is to get the most out of it, to get the most out of circulation, and to be sent to the burn wallet. So as that bottom of the market, the bottom will constantly essentially grow. As it does, we will just keep hitting at the bottom, at the bottom, at the bottom, so that we're not going to do it all in one go, because it's not beneficial. Yeah, you can hit a good price fast and it looks really good for a matter of minutes before it comes back down. So okay, I'm just trying to load up the thing. Ask any last questions, like I did say, guys, okay, because I'm showing this. I will be finishing. Okay, so you should now be able to see my screen. Okay, so this is inside the basic. With this, I don't have the ability to jump across to the daylight thing, which I do prefer. But this is just an idea of the inside of what the actual trade page will look like. Obviously, you've got your price, your size, your charts of all different kinds. You'd have your trade history, the information for all of the pairs where you'd be able to select them, your order book over on this side too. You'll have your depth charts that will be constantly running, your portfolio, of which obviously oversees all of your total balance. Market news, right? So this will be like a little news thing that we will have running from the inside, of which where we will be constantly running through and giving updates based on not only ourselves, but from some of like the news channels and things like that, that will be plugged into them as well. So it'll be constantly giving information. Your position, obviously this is in the leverage side as well. So like I said, the leverage side will be slightly different to the actual core. This will be running through Binance too. Open positions, you'll be able to see active orders, fills, blah, 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 blah. All of the usual that you need to do, obviously liquidation. Inside for the quick swaps, accounts, data, settings, the usual. Okay, the main part of which that we're taking is from this page, the exchange where I just showed you. It's going on a super go slow, but this is just to be used as the core trading page. As you can see, it's incredibly simple to use and easy, user friendly. That's the idea. Different types of trades as well. Obviously, you've got fill or kill, immediate or cancel, good till cancelled. So good till cancelled basically is where you leave it until you actually cancel it. Fill or kill, immediate or cancel. Also, there will be market, the ability to buy at market price as well. it's hard to really show it based on this, because with everything that we actually have, the IEOs and everything as well, but this page will be able to be in daylight and nighttime mode, as well as many other bonuses within it as well. Yeah, and for any smart aleck that comes along and sees this and that sees, guys, like I said, we're only using this as, or this is, we've only used this to create our mock version of which is going to be put live, okay, or our mock version that we put into the final version. This is just some cheap HTML version, to be honest. HTML is, to be honest, from a marketing perspective, I shouldn't have shown you this, but I want you to actually get the idea. But Angular looked much better, but this obviously more, what I'm showing you now is more the layout of everything and the structuring of everything as to what is actually going to be there, what's going to be available, and how easy and straightforward it's going to be, basically. But like I said, that's just a trade page. Was Fuzzy Wuzzy a woman? Honest answer, I don't actually know. I mean, currently there are many times the exchange brings up. Okay, yeah, we've done that one. Possible to get a sneak peek. Yep, done that. You wrote that you will try to hold a certain price, but it has gone back to very low. Yeah, guys, and not looking in real short term. Yes, we want to get we want to get all of the bits and pieces of the engine basically in and all running. So that's the IEOs first. And yeah, then obviously we will start creeping out as per the business marketing model as well. Short term, it's not of a concern. When will the betting site be ready? The betting site will be ready soon. Okay, first of all, really, and if anybody wants to, ideally I'd like to have a founding team actually for the betting site. So if it's something that would be of interest to you, then do come through. Because, and if I'm honest, right now, obviously from a development perspective, we're here, there. And overseeing everything, it'd be good to actually have a team to oversee and run that. That's basically what we need for that now. When we do have that, that's when it'd be able to get ready. Technically, it's not far away. It'd be good to have an IO for it, raise some capital, which we'll be able to use for marketing it and getting it out there. But yeah, main thing for that now is I'd like to have a founding team to actually be able to run that. If you're interested, obviously it means that you can become a director of it. It also means that you become a shareholder in it. It's basically a business ready to go if you are interested. Will all the EurekaX trade history be imported in the new site? Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so none of the database is actually changing. We're not actually changing the site. We are only changing the design. Okay, all of the core coding and everything is all going to remain as it is. Right, I think that's all. Right, guys, thank you for everything. We've covered absolute tons. I hope this has been really useful for you all. It's been a pleasure as always. Yeah, I'll allow you to I'll allow you to go and share your thoughts and everything. Like I said, this is recorded as well, so everybody will be able to get plugged into this and see exactly sort of what's going on. That's it for me. Have a fantastic weekend, and I'm sure that I'll see you all very soon in the room. All right, goodbye for now. To answer your question very quickly, ratio that CBT to social token will be swapped. Off the top of my head, I'm not actually sure, but it will be in line with the circulation of the total supply ratio of social token to CBT. Obviously, CBT had a massive total supply, so it will be in ratio to that. All right, everybody have a fantastic day, and I look forward to catching you all on the other side. Goodbye for now.